Hi, I'm Mr. Mullaney. This is a recap of our lesson about the New England Colonies. This deck was put together by my student teacher, Mr. Colin Boyle, and I am speaking to you on a very, very cold, wintry morning and wearing that my woolly has my hair all messed up. So I like history, but I hate winter. And on with the New England Colonies, speaking of places where you can experience some cold. The do now that Mr. Boyle went over yesterday. The reasons for English conquest in the New World, the idea of colonies, trade, exploiting resources, especially with the way the Spanish had done that. They saw that example. They wanted to copy it. From there, they also wanted new markets. Okay. Conditions in Jamestown were very, very poor. Things started off very, very bad. It was like a swamp. There was malaria. The colonists who settled there did not want to do the hard work that was needed. And the House of Burgesses, a little seed in the garden of American democracy, is a representative body that was the local government for the colony of Virginia. So talk about French explorers. And the big thing with French explorers, besides Verrazano, he was an Italian who sailed for France. And the Verrazano Bridge, which I cross often to go back home, is named in his honor. But the big thing with New France is you want to look at the area. They were all about the fur trade. So they're in areas where you can trap fur and in areas where they're always by bodies of water to get the fur to market as quickly as possible. So that really characterized the early French colonies in the New World. Now let's go back to England for a second here. So Puritans and separatists. So the Puritans disliked the way the Anglican or Church of England church, they thought they carried on with too many Catholic practices. And then you had separatists who broke away from the Puritans to start their own churches. So we get Plymouth Colony. All right. Another thing with the what I'd call the Garden of American Democracy is the Mayflower Compact. So these Puritan separatists, the Pilgrims, they first leave England where they're persecuted. They don't like the Anglican Church, and thus they're not liked. So they go to Holland first. Doesn't work out there, and they decide, let's try it in America. On the ship, the Mayflower, they agree to the Mayflower Compact, which is an agreement where they say, we will agree to follow the rules that the majority set. And so again, when we talk about building American democracy, and another seed in that garden. Okay, Massachusetts Bay Colony. The Puritans who get there, they do not believe in religious tolerance. You want to understand that. They were persecuted in England, but they didn't come here with the idea of, okay, we were persecuted, so we won't persecute. They came here with the idea of, we need a place where we can worship our religion, be Puritans, and so they came and they did not tolerate other religions. They believed in, this guy John Winthrop, the governor, talked about a city upon a hill, and that language is used in American history up until the present, especially in the 1984 presidential election. But the idea of a shining city of a hill, on a hill, that America would be this beacon, this example for the rest of the world. So you get Roger Williams. Roger Williams was a separatist, but he basically said that they should buy the land from the natives, not just take it. He's banished to the wilderness, and so he sets up a new colony called Rhode Island. And Hutchinson is banished from Rhode Island, and so Anne Hutchinson is banished from Massachusetts colony, and she joins Roger Williams in Rhode Island. Then there's Connecticut. Thomas Hooker settles that. He starts the first plan for self-government called the Fundamental Orders, the first formal government plan in New England. You get New Hampshire. A separatist named John Wheelwright starts a settlement in Exeter in 1638. It becomes a colony in 1679. And we'll end off with some wars. So these colonists fight the locals, the natives. There's the Pequot War, all right? And what happens is the Puritans kill about 500 Pequots in present-day Mystic, Connecticut. All right, and there's also King Philip's War. These are two turning points in getting the Connecticut colony established. King Philip's War, there's a Massasoit chief, Metacom. He unites the tribes to drive the English from their land, but Metacom is killed, and that war, he's called Metacom by the natives. The others call him King Philip. Anyway, long story short, he is killed, and that ends that revolt. So that's a quick recap of our New England Colonies lesson. Thank you, Mr. Boyle, for preparing this deck.